Do these 7 things to your tomatoes now. September is coming. If your tomato plants are still producing, don't make the mistake of treating them exactly the way you did back in June. September is coming, and that changes what matters. You've spent months getting those plants established, growing flowers, setting fruit and waiting for those tomatoes to ripen. But now the goal isn't simply to make the plants bigger. The goal is to get as much of the harvest you've already worked for into your kitchen before the season starts turning. And there are 7 things I want you to do now. The first 3 are about deciding what is worth keeping, what needs attention, and what may no longer have enough time to contribute to your harvest. 1. Find the tomatoes you should pick first. Walk through your plants and stop looking at every tomato as if it needs to stay on the vine until it's completely red. It doesn't. Look closely at the fruit. If you have tomatoes that are beginning to change from green toward their mature color, especially fruit that has reached the breaker or early coloring stage, those are the ones I want you to notice first. As we move towards September, weather can become less predictable. A nearly ripe tomato can suddenly face heavy rain, strong wind, insects, or cooler nights. So here's the simple habit I want you to start. Every time you harvest, don't just grab the reddest tomatoes. Scan the plant first. Look for fruit that has started changing color. Look for mature-sized tomatoes that are beginning to lose that completely green appearance, and look for fruit sitting in exposed positions where changing weather could damage it. Those deserve your attention. But don't strip the plant of every green tomato. If a tomato is still immature and has plenty of time to develop, leave it alone. We're learning to recognize the fruit that has reached a stage where leaving it exposed may no longer be worth the risk. And there's another benefit. You're no longer putting your entire late-season harvest in one basket. You can have fruit finishing indoors while other tomatoes continue developing on the plant. That gives you a much calmer way to finish the season. And if you've ever had a beautiful tomato split after a period of heavy rain, you already know why this matters. 2. Remove the leaves that are now working against you. Now, don't go outside and remove half the leaves from your tomato plant. Healthy green leaves are still valuable. They're helping the plant produce the energy it needs to finish those tomatoes. Instead, look for foliage that is clearly no longer helping. Start with foliage that is badly diseased, severely damaged, yellowing for an obvious reason, or lying against the soil. If you find foliage packed into a damp, crowded area where airflow is poor, take a closer look there too. The goal isn't to make the plant look tidy. The goal is to remove problem foliage without stripping away healthy leaves your plant still needs. Before you remove anything, ask, is this leaf actually causing a problem, or am I just pruning because the plant looks messy? That question can save you from over-pruning. Because when September approaches, it's tempting to think, I need to clean everything up. No. Clean up what actually needs cleaning up. If a leaf is healthy, green, and doing its job, leave it alone unless there's a specific reason to remove it. But if you find diseased foliage, don't ignore it and hope it disappears. Remove the affected material carefully and keep an eye on the surrounding leaves. And pay particular attention to lower leaves touching the soil or sitting in constantly damp conditions. This is one of those jobs that becomes much easier when you catch it early. You don't need to spend an hour pruning your entire tomato patch. Take a few minutes, look carefully, remove what's clearly damaged or diseased, and then stop. Now I want you to look at the newest flowers and the tiniest tomatoes on your plants. Because as September approaches, not every piece of new growth still has enough time to become a part of your harvest. A tomato that has only just started forming may need several weeks to develop and ripen. If your growing season is already getting short, that matters. So ask yourself, does this new growth realistically have enough time to become a ripe tomato? If the answer is yes, leave it. If the answer is no, that's when you can start being more selective. This doesn't mean removing every flower you see. It doesn't mean cutting healthy branches, and it certainly doesn't mean treating September as the same deadline for every gardener. Your local weather and first frost timing matter. But if you're looking at a plant covered in brand new flowers and tiny fruit while your growing season is running short, don't automatically assume more is better. Sometimes the smarter move is to stop investing in fruit that you're unlikely to finish and focus your attention on the tomatoes that are already developing. Because at this point in the season, your goal isn't to create the biggest tomato plant possible, it's to finish the harvest you already have. Remember this, don't grow for the sake of growing, grow for the harvest you can realistically finish. And before we get to number 4, tell me where your garden is right now. Are your tomatoes mostly green, starting to color, or are you harvesting ripe tomatoes every few days? Tell me in the comments, because number 4 becomes especially important once those branches are carrying a serious amount of fruit, and it's something you don't want to discover after heavy rain or strong wind has done the damage.
Now, look closely at the structure holding your tomato plants up. If your plants are carrying a lot of fruit, don't assume the cage, stake, or trellis is still strong enough simply because it has worked all summer. A branch that was easy to support in June can become surprisingly heavy by late August. And when you add strong wind or a sudden period of heavy rain, a weak support system can become a broken branch very quickly. So here's the quick test I want you to do. Take one hand and gently lift the heaviest fruit-laden branch you can safely reach. If the branch is pulling hard against the cage, leaning away from its support, or putting pressure on a loose tie, fix that point now. Check whether your cages are leaning. Check whether stakes have become loose. And look at ties that may be cutting into stems or have stopped holding the plant where you need it. If a heavy branch is resting against the ground, support it before the fruit becomes damaged or the stem breaks. You're not trying to make the plant look perfect. You're preventing a heavy, productive branch from becoming tomorrow's broken branch. And this matters even if your weather forecast looks completely calm today. You don't need to predict a storm. You just need to remove the weak points before bad weather exposes them. Because once a branch snaps under the weight of fruit and rain, there's very little you can do to put it back the way it was. So take 5 minutes and check the plant while you can still fix the problem easily. And while you're checking those branches, look closely at the fruit too. Because there's another late-season problem that can appear after a sudden change in moisture. Don't let dry soil and heavy rain ruin your fruit. This is one of those problems that can seem to happen overnight. You've had several dry days, the soil becomes very dry, then you get a period of heavy rain, and suddenly tomatoes that looked beautiful begin developing cracks. The reason is that the fruit can take up water faster than the skin can expand. So instead of watering your tomatoes simply because it's your usual watering day, check the root zone first. If the soil is still adequately moist, you don't need to add more water just because the calendar says you should. If it's dry, water deeply and appropriately for your garden rather than giving the surface a quick sprinkle. The goal is to avoid extreme swings between very dry soil and sudden heavy moisture whenever you can. And pay attention to the weather. If substantial rain is expected, don't automatically water beforehand because you're worried your tomatoes might need it. Check the soil first, then decide. After a heavy rainfall, inspect the fruit. Look for cracking. Look for tomatoes resting against the soil. Look for fruit hidden inside dense foliage where moisture may remain for longer. And if you find a tomato that's starting to crack, harvest it rather than leaving it on the plant until the damage gets worse. You can't control how much rain falls, but you can avoid making your plants go into a heavy rainfall period already stressed from extremely dry soil. That is the part you can control. And this is why I don't want you following a rigid watering schedule simply because someone online told you to water tomatoes every morning. Your soil isn't their soil. Your weather isn't their weather. Check the root zone, then decide. That small habit can save you a surprising amount of unnecessary work. Now we've protected the plant, we've protected the fruit, but there's another decision you need to make as September approaches. You need to decide whether all that new growth is actually worth keeping. Now, before you reach for the fertilizer, look at what your tomato plants are telling you. If the older leaves are progressively yellowing, the plant is losing vigor, or your tomatoes are developing uneven color, nutrition may be part of the problem. But here's the mistake I don't want you to make. Don't see one yellow leaf and immediately assume my tomatoes need fertilizer. A yellow leaf is a clue. It isn't a diagnosis. Look at the pattern. Are several older leaves gradually turning yellow? Are the leaves showing unusual yellowing around the edges or between the veins? Are your fruits struggling to develop normal, even color? Those signs are worth investigating. And if you've been growing tomatoes in the same container or soil for months, especially with frequent watering, nutrition may have been depleted or washed away. That's when feeding makes sense. But don't reach for the strongest fertilizer you can find. Too much nitrogen can give you a beautiful mass of green growth while working against fruit production, and excessive fertility can also contribute to uneven ripening. If you determine that your plants actually need feeding, use a fertilizer appropriate for fruiting vegetables and follow the label directions rather than guessing at the dose. And remember this, don't fertilize a problem you haven't diagnosed. Sometimes the answer is nutrition, sometimes it's watering, sometimes it's disease, root stress, weather, or simply an older leaf reaching the end of its useful life. Your job isn't to feed the plant every time something looks wrong. Your job is to figure out what it's asking for first. Now we come to the step that ties everything together. Don't wait until the first cold night is already in the forecast to decide what you're going to do with your tomatoes. September does not automatically mean frost. Your timing depends on where you live, your local weather, and how long your growing season lasts. So check your expected first frost date now. Then look at your plants. How much fruit is already mature-sized? Which tomatoes are starting to color? Which ones are still completely green? And which new flowers or tiny fruit are probably not going to have enough time to finish? Once you know how much growing time you realistically have, your decisions become much easier. You can leave the fruit that still has plenty of time. You can harvest tomatoes that are already far enough along. You can stop spending energy on growth that has little chance of producing before your season ends. And if a cold night is approaching, you already know what you're going to do with the mature green and partially colored tomatoes. That's the advantage of planning before you need to act. Your goal isn't to keep a tomato plant alive forever. It's to get the best harvest possible from the time you have left. So here's your September tomato reset. Pick the tomatoes that are ready. Remove foliage that's genuinely diseased or damaged. Stop investing in new growth that won't have enough time to produce. Secure your heavy branches before weather exposes weak supports. Check the soil before watering, especially when dry weather is followed by heavy rain. And before you fertilize, diagnose the problem. Yellow leaves don't automatically mean your plant needs feeding. And finally, know your first frost window so you're not making last-minute decisions when the cold arrives. And if you still have a lot of green tomatoes, don't panic. Green doesn't mean lost. It means you need to start paying attention to how much growing time you have left. You don't need to do everything today. Walk through your plants this week. Pick what's ready, fix what's actually wrong, protect what you've grown, and make decisions based on your own season, not someone else's calendar. Because September isn't automatically the end of your tomato season. It's simply when the way you manage your plants needs to change. If this helped you look at your tomatoes differently, subscribe to Easy Gardening for Seniors. And tell me in the comments, are your tomatoes mostly green, starting to ripen, or already giving you more than you can keep up with? I'll see you in the next one.